Hello everyone, I'm Dr. David Campos. Today we'll discuss if studying medicine in Bolivia is expensive. Today we'll talk about that topic. Before starting this video, don't forget to leave that beautiful like and subscribe to this channel. It doesn't cost anything. To share this video with everyone, and above all, also follow me on my Instagram, which I'll leave for you here. So we can stay much more in touch, let's start with the video. One of the questions you ask me is it expensive to study medicine? Can we say yes and no? Point number 11. Those of us who live here, well, we don't have to pay rent, and that really helps with expenses. In Bolivia, you can find several universities, whether more expensive or more affordable, and they are very good. If you want to know about different universities, I'll leave the link here so you can go and see all the universities. Recorded from UCEBOL, UDABOL, Unifrancia Católica, etc. For foreigners, it might be a bit more expensive because they have to pay for everything. It's their entire stay here in Bolivia. They have to pay wherever they go. They have to pay for their meals. They have to pay for their transportation and the university. But if we compare Brazil with Bolivia, can you study in Bolivia? It's much cheaper than in their country. Because in Brazil, each month costs around 5,000 to 8,000 reais per month. And 8,000 reais is already like saying $1,000 in Bolivia. Each month of university for the medicine degree, so it's very expensive. And with 8,000 reais, they can pay for about 3 months of university, plus their rent, electricity, water, and so on. Is that why many people from Brazil, Chile, and Peru choose to study in Bolivia? But sometimes the price ends up being almost the same. Because, like I said, those who come to study in Bolivia have to pay for their rent. They have to. Water, electricity, internet, transportation, food, etc. But universities are cheap compared to other countries. I'm going to talk to you about Católica, for example, because that's the information I have right now and I studied there, so Católica. To get in, you have to take the preparatory course, which is like an entrance exam. You pay dollars, $200 to get in. You take it, they prepare you, you pay, and you enter the medicine program. The first semester, the Catholic University is a bit expensive compared to UCEVOL, UDAVOL, UNIFRANX, etc. So, we can say it's one of the more expensive ones, but honestly, I recommend them. A semester costs 15,000 Bolivianos. That means you pay 15,000 Bolivianos for 6 months, which is equivalent to almost $2,000. That's the cost of the first semester of medical school. That includes insurance, enrollment, the first month and the second month. So paying for all 6 months gets you a discount, right? Well, maybe others will say, oh, it's very expensive, but compared to other countries, it's actually cheap, right? As I mentioned, there are other universities, and I've heard of UCEVOL, which is still about $150 to $200 every month, right? And there are universities that cost around $150, others that cost $100 a month, so it really depends on which university you choose, right? Only the Catholic University requires an entrance exam. For the others, you just enroll and pay the registration fee. But you should keep in mind that within the medicine program, you are going to spend money. You're going to spend money to buy your medical kit, your instruments for dissections in the amphitheater. You'll have to pay for a lab coat, and you'll need to buy your books. But the good thing in Bolivia is that you can say that if you want, you can buy the original books. And if not, well, you go to a place near all the hospitals and there they sell all the pirated books. I know it's not good, but you know that medicine is expensive and original medical books are very expensive. So there you can find all the books, even in color. That really helps students financially since books are expensive and available there. Between 100 Bolivianos, 150 Bolivianos, it depends on how many volumes there are. Because there are books that come in volume 1, 2, 3, and 4. There are a lot. But you'll get the books super cheap. That's gonna help you a lot. Public transportation is not expensive. You pay 2 Bolivianos, which isn't expensive. It's actually like saying 1 real and it takes you everywhere. Food in Bolivia isn't expensive. With 10 or 15 Bolivianos, you can have a soup and a main course. Because here in Bolivia, we're used to eating soup and then the main dish. So, it's not expensive in that aspect, but rent really depends a lot. What Brazilians do here is rent an apartment. And let's suppose those apartments have 3 rooms. Let's say the rent is $500. They rent out those 3 rooms. Among themselves, they rent it out. One takes a room, another takes another, and together they pay for everything. They split it. That's how it often works. Some people prefer living alone, so they rent small, often inexpensive rooms. You can find places from 1,000 to 500 Bolivianos depending on your preferred lifestyle. Because there are people who like to live well, they like to go eat at restaurants really well, and then your cost of living goes up a bit more. But to say that universities are expensive in Bolivia, they're not. Yes, you'll spend more at other universities. For example, Udebol is a university where you spend a lot. I mean, it's cheap, but in the end, you spend a lot because you have to pay for all the paperwork you need to graduate. They ask you for papers from here, papers from there, so there are a lot of documents you have to do, and that's where you end up spending a lot. But Udebol is cheap, Unifrance is cheap, the Ecological University, and so on and so on. But remember that you have to look for universities that are accredited by Arcosur. This is especially important for Brazilians planning to go to Brazil, as the simplified process is now open. I have a video talking about the simplified process, and I also have a video talking about Arcosur. So, honestly, I hope you really enjoyed this video, clearing up some doubts you might have. See you in the next video, bye!